Why are my answers wrong again? Now, do you often find yourself asking this question after you receive your comprehension paper? Now, there are many reasons why you might not be doing well in comprehension open-ended. Today, I, Miss Quack, will be sharing with you 3 very common errors when students do comprehension. So when I was conducting comprehend synthesis workshops for upper primary students over the June holidays, I noticed that students were making the mistake of not understanding question requirements when it comes to comprehension open-ended. So what happened was that they were either not able to get the full mark or even any marks for a comprehension question. So obviously, knowing what the question wants is very important before you even try to answer the question. So today, the 3 errors that I will be sharing are related to understanding question requirements for comprehension. So error 1, not knowing the question words and what they mean. In every comprehension question, there is bound to be a question word. But what's a question word? A question word is basically one of the 5 W1H words, such as who, what, when, where, why, how, and which. So let's take a look at some of the more common question words used in comprehension. Number 1, for what and which questions, they are usually questions that require you to specify and choose certain points from the passage. Number 2, why questions require you to share reasons. And number 3, how questions require you to either share how a character feels or how a process is carried out. By knowing these question words and what they mean, you can be more accurate when it comes to answering the particular question. Error 2, not knowing the mark allocation when it comes to a comprehension question. Now, at the very basic level, you should know by now that a 2-mark question requires 2 points. However, knowing this mark allocation does not just stop here. You should also try to understand and analyze how the 2 marks in the 2-mark question are allocated. Let's take a look at the example. Let's look at this question. Why did Emma confuse Donna's house for the art gallery? Now, if you look at the question closely, you will see that it's a 2-mark question and it's a why question. Now, by looking at the question, you will actually see that you will need 2 reasons, not 1 reason, okay, in order to get the full 2 marks. So, knowing the mark allocation is simpler when it comes to direct questions. However, what about inferential questions? Why did the author say that making bubble tea was a back-breaking task? Again, the question word would be worth 1 mark because it's a why question and it tells you that you need to share a reason for the question. However, does this question require only 1 reason? Or does it require 2 reasons? Actually, both are wrong. What you should be sharing is 1 reason for the reason why making bubble tea is difficult, and the second reason should be you explaining the quotation back-breaking in the question. By sharing this explanation of the quotation and providing 1 reason, you can get the 2 full marks for this question. So the third error that students make when it comes to understanding question requirements is not knowing what to prove true or false in a true-false question. Now, answering true-false questions correctly is very important because it's a very common question and it usually comprises a significant portion of the marks. However, students can find this question difficult because the questions are crafted in statement form and hence they might not be very clear about what the key point that they need to prove true or false is. So what do we do? Let's look at an example.
So the example statement looks like this. Albertus's father was able to send only 1 son to the academy. Do you know what the key point is of this question? If you don't worry. What you should do when it comes to a true-false question is to rephrase the statement into a question and then try to answer that question. By doing so, you will be able to better identify what the key point that you need to prove true or false is. And once you have identified that key point, you should underline it in your paper so that when you refer back to the question, it's over there. So for this example statement, we can rephrase it into this question. Was Albertson's father able to send only one son to the academy? By rephrasing it into a question, we can see that the key point of this question is about the number of sons that the father could send to the academy. So if the passage tells you a different number other than one son, you will know that the statement is false. So today, in this video, I've shared with you 3 errors that students make when it comes to understanding question requirements in comprehension open-ended. So how do we avoid misunderstanding or not even understanding the question requirements? What we should do is, before answering the questions, we should follow the following 3 steps. Step 1. Highlight question keywords. Question keywords include the question word, the subject of the question, as well as other key points in the question. Step 2. Take note of the mark allocation. For a 2-mark question, make sure that you know how the 2 marks are allocated. And step 3. Know the tense of the question and make sure that the tense of your answer also matches it. Now, of course, knowing your question requirements is important, but it's only the first step. Understanding and knowing the various strategies you can use to tackle various types of comprehension questions is equally important. So if you wish to pick up some easy-to-use comprehension strategies for comprehension questions such as table form questions, why not consider signing up for our Compre and Synthesis Camp? At our camp, you will not only pick up comprehension strategies, but also synthesis ones. So this is the end of the video. I hope that you have learned something useful for comprehension. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.